Do you really need a watch winder? Using a watch winder is kind of a controversial topic in the watch world. A lot of watch nerds will tell you, yes, you definitely need to have a watch winder, while others will say, not really. So today we're gonna look at both sides of the argument and give you guys our opinion on it, and then we're gonna show you guys some really cool watch winders throughout the video. Stay tuned. Why does it even matter if you use a watch winder? Well, we asked a couple watchmakers and a lot of them gave us a very similar response in the sense that why would you add unnecessary wear and tear to your watch movement? Well, if you think of it this way, if you have a car and you put it in the garage and you turn it on and leave it running, and you're not driving the car, you're really not doing anything. You're just kind of using the car when you're not even there. So that's something that a lot of watchmakers will tell you. It's like you're just adding unnecessary wear and tear. That's one of the main reasons people don't like to have a winder, because it's gonna make them want to have to service the watch more frequently, replace the oils and all that, and it's just a lot more work. So a lot of watchmakers will tell you, guys, just leave the watch wherever, in your dresser, wherever you leave your watches, in your case, and when you want to wear it, you go and wind it normally and just put it on. So that's what a lot of people say. What exactly would be a reason to have a watch winder? Well, one of the main reasons, in my opinion, to have one is if you have a very complicated watch. For example, let's look at the IWC Perpetual Calendar. This is a big watch, big power reserve, and it's kind of a mathematical machine. I mean, if it's wound, for the majority of the time it's worn or whatever you have in the winder, it will be accurate for up to like 300 years, some crazy number like that. But the problem is, if you don't have a winder and you don't wear this watch every day, and I wouldn't blame you to wear it every day because it's kind of a big watch, you have a problem there, because if the watch runs out of power reserve, it will no longer be accurate as a perpetual calendar, and it's kind of annoying to set. So part of the ownership experience, in my opinion, of having that watch is that you need a winder. You need something to have it wound and be powered at all times. It has a big power reserve, so you have some time. Say you forget for a week, you'll be fine. But long term, you're definitely gonna need something to wind it, and that's where a watch winder comes in very useful. It's not like other watches with 48 hours, it's not that big of a deal, but with a perpetual calendar that needs to be accurate, it's definitely a big deal. A second reason why you need a winder is some watches, for example, watches with Miyota movements, they wind in certain ways. So for example, a lot of times I'll go pick up a watch that has a Miyota movement, or even some Seikos, like the SKX, for example. You shake it, and you have to literally shake it in a certain way for it to be wound. So if you go like with a Rolex, any way you shake it, it'll be wound, but a Seiko, it won't be. So a lot of times I'll be in a scenario where I'll go grab the Seiko that I've had in the winder, but I've put it in the wrong winding, direction, so it's actually not wound. So that's what a winder can do for you. Instead of sitting there awkwardly shaking every time you want to wear the watch, you could actually just set it, to the correct way, counterclockwise or clockwise, whichever way it winds, and you'll always have a fully powered watch. The third reason why you should have a watch winder, in my opinion, is the cool factor, guys. Now, watch collecting is a very passionate hobby. And watch winders, when you think about it, it's kind of like on the far end of the passion, side of things. It's basically something that's typically very well designed, very, high-end leather. Everything is made, perfectly. And typically people buy them more of like a showcase piece to kind of say, hey guys, like this is my hobby, It's almost art in that sense. And I think that's one of the main driving factors of buying a watch winder, is that you have this kind of piece of art that holds your watches and is very beautifully made, but also you can showcase that to the world and say, hey, look, I'm a watch enthusiast. So guys, we've talked about a bunch of watch winders, the pros and cons, but let's get into the fun stuff. So throughout this video, we've seen some B-roll of watch winders, and the people that make these watch winders are called Wolf. Now, Wolf was founded in 1834. That's right, guys, it's an old brand. And basically their philosophy, their brand kind of slogan is, if you own something beautiful and precious, you deserve to put it in something equally as precious to store it. So that's where Wolf comes in. They started in 1834, Philip Wolf I started the brand, and as they say, guys, from there it's history. I mean, these people have expanded to China, the UK, the United States, the European market. They're all over the place. And to me, they're kind of the godfather of the watch winder, in my opinion. Another legendary thing that they've done is that they've actually created the official Rolex boxes and Longines for back in the day. So they would actually make the manufacturer boxes for them. Now we know Rolex and Longines, they probably do it in-house, but back in the day, Wolf was the company that those big brands turned to. With that being said, guys, let's look at the Wolf Axis Triple Winder. Confirming, we have the Wolf Triple Access Winder, and inside we have three of the most legendary watch brands on the market. We have first the Patek Philippe 5726 Moon Phase. Then we have the Audemars Piguet chronograph, nicknamed the Frosty. And then we have the Rolex Day-Date in white gold, blue dial. So we have these three amazing watches, and we're going to show you guys how this watch winder actually works. So if you go on Wolf's actual website, they have a section where you can look up pretty much any watch manufacturer, make, model, and basically see how your watch winds. So we measure that with TPD, turns per day. So basically some movements wind counterclockwise or clockwise or both, bi-directional. So that website will give you that information, which will help you set your watch in the watch winder. All right guys, so let's show you how this watch winder works with this Patek Philippe. So first you turn it on, that's what this right knob does. Then you have to basically choose how many spins per day you want to wind the watch. This particular Patek Philippe needs 800 spins a day. Then this left knob here is basically what you want, how you want the watch to wind, either be counterclockwise or clockwise. This particular Patek Philippe winds counterclockwise. So we just set it to be right now and the watch will start spinning. There you go. So guys, now we have the second watch, which is this Frosty AP. So same thing, you guys turn it on, then you set it to 650, because this watch winds bi-directionally and needs 650 spins. So that option for this is actually C. So you go all the way down, and now the watch will begin winding bi-directionally. Now the final watch is this Rolex Day-Date in white gold blue face. And this particular watch, like the AP, has the same specifications. It needs 650 spins a day to keep it wound. So turn it on the same way. We go back to, we put the winds to 650, and then we put on option C for it to be wound bi-directionally. So now we have three watches spinning at the same time with the correct turns per day to keep the watches wound. Isn't that cool? So guys, we actually weren't gonna include this in the video, but I think that this upper echelon winder by Wolf is absolutely incredible. This is basically a watch winder on steroids. It's called the Churchill. It's basically a giant safe that stores all your watches. You can have different like shelves and levels of watches, and it's crazy. You can store your jewelry as well. And really, that is the definition of a true, kind of watch winder showcase piece. And that's something for, a crazy enthusiast would buy. Let's just say that. Today, guys, we talked about watch winders. And what do you guys think? Do you guys have a watch winder? Would you buy one of these Wolf watch winders? Let us know in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.